Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you very much for watching the show this morning, and big thanks to Jason Hambley and Cameron there jumping in, and Jared Higginbotham and Shane Magnuson as well. Prior to that, they're busy up there getting everything going for that Puyallup Sportsman Show. If you're up north, we're here. Wherever you might be, go check them out. Make sure you let them know you saw it. But let's go ahead and check in with Seth. He's got a question about edge rods, and I'll do the best that I can. I'm terrible with numbers and all that stuff, but Ryan's really good with the internet. We'll find out what he's got. Seth, what's going on?
Hey, Owen. Good morning.
Good morning.
I just had a quick question about which rod you would recommend for trolling, like the Mackinac and Odell Lake.
Okay, so are you going to be trolling on a downrigger? Are you going to
be? Yes, sir. Yeah, we used about a 10-pound downrigger ball, I think, 10 or 8.
Okay, so I would love to be able to delve into another way that you can go after him, but if I did, when my brother-in-law comes up here, I'd have 4 flat tires on my Silverado. So I'm going to back up a little bit. If you're going to be using a downrigger, which is what most people do when they're targeting Mackinac, no matter what impoundment it might be in, you need to have a rod that's going to have a little bit of a bend to it, right? You don't want to have a rod that's going to be a telephone pole all the way out to the front, because you're going to want to let that rod do its job before it actually gets bit, right? So it's going to have a little bend in there. So I would probably still say something along in that 360 line of rods from Edge, and there's multiple different versions. Ryan, can you pull that up? The 360 version. Also, don't overlook the Black Widow line of rods, which is, you know, I really like the 360 rods, don't get me wrong, but we're not always using 360s, but they're very versatile. You got different options with these 360 line of rods. So that being said, and Ryan's got it pulled up here. Ryan, can you pull it up to where you're going to find the different model numbers when you get a chance? The best part about these 360 rods, Seth, is that their bend is way out front. So you got a lot of backbone. So I wouldn't go after anything too heavy duty. I would try to keep it, you know, in that, let's see, 12 to 30 range would probably be the best. I wouldn't want to go the 15 to 40. I wouldn't want to go anything heavy, because you're going to want to still have enough room for those rods to bend. And if you're going to be in a boat, you don't really need, and on a downrigger, you're not going to need a 10-6 rod, but the nice part about having a 10-6 rod, 12 to 30, is that it's got a little bit of room, right, to bend, which is what you're going to want to have on that, on the downrigger. But it's not going to be so stiff that it's going to want to fight it, right, where it's going to want to keep pulling on your release, whereas that 15 to 40 or 15 to 50 might do. So the 10-6, the 9-footer or 9'6", whatever it is, the shorter version in the 360 would be great. I would stick with the 12 to 30. And again, the only reason why I'm recommending that particular rod is the way that it actually bends. It holds that backbone way out front, and then that tip is very, very soft. So it would allow the tip to bend when it's on the downrigger in the clip, so that, of course, when you do get bit, that it should hopefully, if you do get bit, it breaks right loose and pops right up like it's supposed to, and then you're hooked up. Now, that being said, the other rods that I would look at are, again, my personal favorite, are the Black Widow line of rods. And I would stick with that same sort of thought process. I would stay with that 12 to 30. I'd probably go 9.6, 9.8, somewhere in there as far as length goes. And I would just make sure to keep it in that 12 to 30 pound range. Those rods bend much more throughout the blank, as opposed to, say, the 360 rod, where it's going to be a lot of backbone till you get past the ferrule and then start to bend. The Black Widow line is going to have more of a bend starting in the bottom of the rod, although still the majority of its power, again, or bend, is up front. So between one of those two, in the 12 to 30 would be one that I would recommend at the very least. Now, again, I'm no Mackinac fisherman, all right, but those fish can be into the 40-pound range, right? So you want to have a rod that's light enough that when you're playing around with the fish that's in the teens or even lower, that you got a good rod.
Yeah, but something like that. And then the bull trout and Billy Chinook, we fish them both pretty heavy. So
yeah, I mean, geez, man, some of the photos that we've seen here, of course, over the years, you know, 35, 40-pounders. I don't want to be undergunned, especially if you're pulling it out of 100 and some odd foot of water, right? So that would be my recommendation, Seth. I hope it helps out in some way. Let us know if we can help again in the future, okay, bud? We appreciate it. All right, we're going to cut to a quick break. When we come back, if I've got the time, I got a quick question from Scott from Vancouver. We're going to try to get that call in. And, of course, we got a little bit more for you. Don't go anywhere.